Sagittarius, this one is for you. Okay, this is Tarot Lumination for you, Sagittarius. It's your general report for September 2017. Let's see if we can get something going here for you. The cards were already pre-shuffled. We're going to shuffle some more. I just wanted to show you this quickly in advance. It is September, but we're coming out of the Leo North Node eclipse that just happened at the end of August, and of course that is a huge wave that's going to continue. It has a long wake, so to speak, whatever that word is, that's going to extend for months. And for you, Sagittarius, even though we're in Virgo season right now, the new moon eclipse energy is up here in Leo in your 9th house. That is your area of, typical keywords, buzzwords to do with your higher consciousness, wisdom, greater awareness, your higher learning, foreign travel, just travel in general, exploration in general, truth-seeking in general. And that can all happen on an internal level. It doesn't mean you have to be like a globetrotter with a backpack and a walking stick and a GoPro camera on your forehead all day, every day. But it's that kind of energy, and you're out there on the frontiers of life, boldly exploring, and then bringing back your wisdom down to earth for the rest of us to understand. That's like the super high conscious Sagittarius energy. Otherwise, it's Sag, as you guys like to have fun and roam wild and free. And so you're being asked to really expand yourself in that area, okay? In a very, very almost like star-like quality. Become a movie star in that part of your life, so to speak. Really, you're being challenged to really express yourself very vividly and openly, and in a way that's very fulfilling and satisfying for you, okay? And then, you don't have to just give it away all, let's just say, randomly in ways that you might have done in the past. There's a lot more stuff we could talk about with the stars and planets, but this is tarot, okay? We're just going to go for it. Now, this is a general report. We're just going to focus on the energy more than anything, as opposed to a traditional reading. I hope you get something out of it. You've probably done this before. Please watch for your sun, your moon, and your rising. Please also watch the Leo North Node Eclipse playlist and the North Node playlist. They're on the Tarot Lumination channel there somewhere. So please make the best of it and squish it all together and then write your own story, okay? All right, and you can reinterpret all of this as you want, okay? So cards were already shuffled, but we're doing it to the last moment. We are cutting now. I'm trying to do extreme cuts to break up the energy. I hope you don't mind. I consider this a journey spread from the heart, because our whole lives ultimately are conducted through our heart, even though we often conduct our lives through our brains, our perception, our senses, a lot of which happens through our head and our hands and our eyes and ears and so on. So here's the energy at the core, okay? The general vibe, right at the very, very core. And here's the energy that you're bringing with you. This could be from months, years, or just the last few days, but it is legacy type of energy. It's already in your system. And here's the energy of the, let's say, I think of it as the ever-present now. Like, this is now, what's happening right now, and this is also now, that's what's happening right after this report. And then in the first early stages of September, and the now moment in the later stages of September, and so on. And this is the energy of actual movement, moving forward through September. Okay, it's on the understanding that we accept this concept called time, and that we live through it as a continuum, and we feel it as a journey. Okay, so that would be this energy here. Facing into the unknown, by definition, even if you have a highly structured life, there is still a degree of risk heading into the unknown, because you don't actually know what's going to happen when you walk outside the front door that particular day. You might have a pretty good idea, because of, experience or expectations, but things can happen, all right? Now, moving forward, okay, this would be that kind of energy. How do you move forward effectively, given that we're going a little bit blind here, and we're hopefully just going forward into what we hope is a really good so-called destiny? That's how. Now, this energy here is more to do with the energy that you attract, so long as you subscribe to the concepts of laws of attraction and how you create your own life. This would be something that you have essentially created for yourself. Otherwise, it could feel like it's just energy coming at you, like, oh, that's life, or that's my experience, and like, oh, what was that? Or what is that? Either perception is perfectly legitimate. You can have whatever views you want. And over here, relating to this energy, there's an expectation, like having your fingers crossed behind your back, like, I hope this works out. I hope September's cool. I hope things come out the way I would like. And I'm also a little bit scared in case they don't. That's this card here. Okay, and here is a card that can indicate the momentum of where it's all heading, okay? You know, it's the same feeling you get when you're on a hike or a journey or a road trip or something. It's that kind of journey effect, but we're dealing it from the heart. And we're also going to read the card at the bottom of the deck, because I like to consider that as the weather that affects the journey. And you're on a journey regardless, and so you're going to make the best of the weather, okay? Whatever it is. Crappy weather, awesome weather, scary weather, oppressive, stultifying, whatever it might be. We're going to make the best of it, okay? So I just wanted to show you, can you see the heart shape there? Hopefully you can see that. I'm trying my best here. That's what we're trying to do, okay? Big one of these. All right, so what have we got? Look at this. Okay, Sag, so you're probably just holding on to what works, you know. Stability counts. Stability is valuable, you know. So I don't blame you, because the eclipses have been really quite something for a lot of people. I see it on the comments. I've seen it in private readings. I've observed it in my own life and friends and family. Big stuff, big changes are happening as things that are being eclipsed out of our life. Okay, let's have a look at it. Let's go back to this. Let's get serious. As things are being eclipsed out of this part of your life, the third house, and you are moving into the new energies over here that are being downloaded as we speak. So that's kind of what's happening, and it can feel destabilizing as you evolve from this to this, because it means a lot of shift and a lot of change, and a lot of people don't like that. Even though you can be very fluid and flexible, Sagittarius, under these kind of pressures, even yourself would be feeling like, I wish I had a handrail right now, or I wish I had a really strong, powerful, heavily illustrated guidebook to make sure I'm going in the right direction. Otherwise, I'm just holding on to what I've got, what I understand is my reality. And I don't blame you, Sagittarius. I really, really don't blame you. Okay, let's have a look. What's the vibe at the core here? Look, you see, Five of Pentacles, indication that there might be a sense of impoverishment. And this could be emotional, psychological, financial, material, worldly, maybe being left out, maybe being rejected. Now, that doesn't surprise me too much, so I'm not really scared for you about this card, because you have to understand Saturn is in Sagittarius right now, okay? And it's in retrograde right now, and it's closing out everything for the last 2 years or so, and it's going to Saturn's going to move into Capricorn soon. So Saturn is doing the last final push. It's just, you know, it's like standing you know, in one of those police lines, and there's no way out of it, and they're just grinding through. They're checking through all of you, all your credentials, to making sure that you're being the best, most awesome Sagittarius possible. It's the truth police. Saturn in Sagittarius, that's the truth police. And they're coming and checking you out, Sagittarius, because you are a carrier of the truth. You are a truth seeker. You are a truth communicator. It's very, very important. That's why we love you, Sag, because that's what you do for us. You seek the truth, you find it, and you bring it back to us in ways that we can understand. Okay? And you might be under so much pressure that you feel like you're being like unfairly, you know, targeted or singled out, which could make you feel impoverished in some way. That's understandable. So, yeah, that's Saturn in Sagittarius. Let's blame it on a planet. Yay! And also it can indicate, because it involves people, an awareness that perhaps, you know, we've made decisions that, you know, in our lives and how they've played out, where we realize we've connected ourselves to other people and ways of being that result in this as well, because we all relate, we all have relationships, and they affect how our lives play out. So it's very, very important to understand the difference between a relationship and a chosen relationship. Okay, so that relates very heavily to this energy here, but this is not a relationship reading. We're just talking about energy. So what did you bring in with you? Okay, on the contrary, with the Ten of Pentacles here, never ever forget that deep down you have everything that you need. You are actually very, very abundant. You might not be feeling it in day-to-day terms. You see all these pentacles here, you might be stressing about money or your financial stability, your worldly stability. And it might feel a bit shaky, it might feel a bit rocky at the moment. But somewhere inside of you, to me, this card is indicating that, Sagittarius, you do have what you need. You do have all the core resources that are essential for moving on, for evolving to your newer, higher, brightest self. All the ingredients, you personally know what they are. You have all your gifts, your talents, your skills, your resources of all kinds, time, natural talents. It could be anything, no matter what kind of Sag you are. And it also could indicate here with this card is that there might be a little bit of a wishing and hoping that you do have all this. It's almost like, you know, when you head out on a long journey and you might be feeling like a little anxious about it, and you can blame it on Saturn if you want. And you know you have to move forward. There's no escape. Life is an evolutionary process. And you know a lot about the process of journeys and traveling, okay? Even if it's in your mind. And with this card, it's an indication that you're coming in, taking a very, very good inventory of what's in your traveler's backpack, making sure that you've got everything in order to move forward safely and effectively. And you're dumping anything and everything that is dead weight that you do not need anymore, and bringing only the wealth and the value that really, really counts with you. That's very, very important, Sagittarius. There's no point in being weighed down by a lifetime of baggage that is now redundant and useless and essentially dead weight. Okay? So what about the present? Hallelujah. So dear Sagittarius, at least you kind of get what's happening right now. And if you are feeling a little bit intimidated by the process of evolution, it's not that bad. You have to remember, Sagittarius, you were one of the signs. Even with Saturn retrograde, even with Saturn and Sagittarius, there is still a monster fat fire trine going on between Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo right now. And it's very, very supportive of your evolutionary journey. And so what I feel with this card is that you've got friends and family around you that are very, very supportive. And you dig it, they dig you, and they are right there for you. They totally understand it. It's like, you know, like you're in a gathering of friends where it's all like they're very close to you and they're saying, Sag, don't worry about this stuff. You know, we're all dealing with the same thing. You're amazingly courageous and brave to even be doing this at all. We support you. You are supported. You do have some sturdy foundations. It might be stuff that you already know, and it's good enough to, you know, hold you stable going forward. And we're just applauding you and giving you like support to keep going. We're there with you. It's almost like you're there with them and they're with you. It's like the Three Musketeers or something, that kind of energy. All for one and one for all. It's like a big group hug kind of feel as you start to migrate into this journey. Because the journey, even though it's actually was triggered in early this year, more like around February or something, but it's really kind of starting now in September as we come out of the eclipses in August. The real big momentum flow is starting right now in September. And it's almost like you're getting a send-off party. Okay, Sag, good luck. We'll be here when you get back. Tell us what it was like. Yay. And it's just like you're having your last little shot before you go. Like, yes. Okay. To keep the blood flowing, of course. Now, moving forward, now we're actually setting out. What have we got? Da, 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 da. It's almost like it's almost like you spruced yourself up. You looked in the mirror, your backpack travel mirror, of course, and you said, you know what? Screw this. I'm a Sagittarius. I can handle this. This is who I am. This is what I do. It's just that I'm going to have to do it in a brighter, bolder way than more bold way than I've ever done before, and that's okay. And it's like the same. It's like Team Sagittarius is with you on their side, and it's almost like they're giving you an awesome send-off, like, go Sag, go Sagittarius, you can handle it. We want to know what you know. So we're like giving you a good send-off, a really big push-off, and it's so effective, it's so genuine, it's so loving, and it's so true that you believe it, and you actually know it deep down in your heart that I am going to be okay. I'm a freaking Sagittarius. I know I'm going to be okay. Nobody can stop me. I'm going to do this. It's going to take a while. It's going to be an amazing journey. And I'm going to go there and I'm going to come back and it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to be facing challenges and risks that I've never done before, but we're going to do it. We're going to handle it. And it's almost like you're putting on this like superhero brave face moving forward, knowing that you're going to be facing the unknown, taking risks, whatever happens, it's all for your ultimate highest good. Okay, how are we going to do that? This relates very closely to your energy, Sagittarius, and what I'm feeling here with the Page of Swords is humbly admitting and accepting that we're all on an evolutionary journey, and this is just your version of it right now, starting here in September, where, with a little bit of grace and humility, and letting go of all the redundancies that are, no longer there for you. It's letting go of all the stuff that's no longer any use to you, and then closely examining what you do have, okay? In other words, as you move through this journey, it's on an understanding that the journey is about the truth. It is about seeking the truth. It is almost like the journey is almost about being a whistleblower on yourself now, being a vigilante on yourself. And that would align strongly with the Saturn energy right now. In other words, the Saturn energy, which is always working for your benefit, no matter how painful it might be, it's saying like, go Sag. Now you get it. Now you understand that the truth lies inside you, and it just might have been obstructed by previous ways of being that are obsolete. And as you move forward in this journey, you are going to deliberately seek out all the landmines, the booby traps, the self-placed, self-sabotaging behaviors and falsehoods that have been undermining you for so long. You're going to cut them away. Cut, cut, cut. And with the enthusiasm and joy and the buoyancy and the innocence of the Page of Swords. And there's going to be no harm done, because the Page of Swords does not mean any harm here. It's all being done with the best and highest of intentions. Okay? There's no disgruntled, what do they call it, going postal type energy here. It's not like you're a fuming, raging, bitter so-and-so who's trying to enact some kind of revenge or anything like that. No, this is much more about cleaning up your own messes, so to speak, and being honest and true about it. Really, really honest and true, because it's like removing all the lint and the garbage and lint and accumulated stuff that's been blocking your wealth and assets from truly shining. Okay, let's see where that leads. Aha! To me, with the Ten of Wands here, it is an admission that you might have to put down, release, and let go of a lot of things that you might have cherished very dearly. Okay? There's a lot of energy of wealth here. And that could be a little strange, because sometimes we hold things very, very dear that really do not have a lot of value. In fact, they could be detrimental to us. And we all do this. I'm guilty of this myself. Sometimes I feel so closely wedded to my own tragedies, all my own sorrows and grief and misery, and the stories repeat over and over again, that it becomes a self-defeating, like program, like a piece of software. And yes, we in some ways we love our tragedies and all of that, but if they start to fill up your brain, so to speak, it becomes debilitating because you're always focusing on the past or what didn't work in the history and all of the things that went wrong. Sure, it's fun, it's exciting to share your war stories and your history with others, like when you're with your mates, so to speak, male, female, young or older, like, and you want to talk about all the horrible stuff that happened to you, and you're having it's almost like a celebration, like, oh, well, you can't believe this, what happened to me. And then someone goes, well, guess what happened to me? Yeah, that was even worse than yours. And then you're reminded, like, you get reminded of another story. Well, wow, now I remember when this and this and that happened, and it was awful. Okay, and that's great. But it's almost like this reading is saying here, get it out of you. You don't need it anymore. It's just unnecessary weight in your backpack. You're going to move forward. You're going to put it all down because you're starting all over again. Okay? You're going to travel light and lean and true. Okay? And setting down, in the actual process of setting down all those burdens which you may love. I know it sounds weird, but that's what I'm feeling here. All right? In other words, it's put down that sack of bricks. In other words, you might, how like sometimes I don't want to repeat it, but it's like we're carrying a 70-pound sack of bricks on our back, and it's been there for so long, each brick representing some kind of woe is me or self-defeating program or software in our brains and attitudes and hearts. But it's there, and it's so deeply welded onto our being that we think it is ourself. And so when you separate all that stuff, it can cause great anxiety and loss, even though you don't really need it. Anyway, so what about the hopes? Let's hope this all works out. And what does that mean? Okay, so it brings you back to the truth again. So by putting down all the stuff that has just been weighing you down, which you might have considered to be an anchor in your life, okay, going back to this, you might be realizing it was just a burden, okay? In which case, when you clear all that stuff away, it's like removing all the, when you're looking for buried treasure, like they do in archaeology digs, there are huge amounts of work go in just to sifting away all the rubble that covers up the gemstones. And these would be the gemstones that you have. And your journey here is about discovering and uncovering the gemstones inside of you that need to be revealed. And in so doing, you hope. This is much more to do with the attitudes that, by setting down like the rubble and stuff that you don't really need, the 70-pound backpack, you become exposed to the layers and stuff, like the obstacle course in front of you. Okay, the real maze that is opening up in front of you, like the whole new journey that comes ahead. Don't be scared of it. You're going to move through it, but it might feel more like it's a maze. And yes, it might feel a little bit scary at first, but it's almost like this is what you need. Okay? The Eight of Swords is like hoping you're going to be strong and victorious as you start, digging, cutting away all falsehood, setting down all burdens, all useless, redundant ways of being, all self-defeating patterns. You become exposed to the new maze that lies in front of you. This would represent the new journey. In other words, it isn't all just a sparkly, wonderful nature park with fountains and crazy, beautiful wild animals and angels floating around everywhere. No, it's like a whole new journey of life where you enter the maze again, okay? But you're going to do it. You can handle it. Don't treat this in a fearful way. You are going to prevail. There's no question about it that you will prevail. But please understand, in your new journey that is unfolding, as you go ever higher up the mountains, the Sagittarius exploration journey, in the most brilliant, joyful way, almost like being the star of your own TV exploration nature show, you're going to do that. And this is what you will encounter, and it's what you hope to encounter, the new maze, the new challenge, the new puzzles ahead. And you will live through them, okay? You don't hope that you will live through them. You know that you will. You're not scared that you won't live through them. You will prevail, okay? We already know this. So let's have a look. Kaboom! You see? What happens here is like, so long as you remember that you're in charge of you, you are the boss of you, and you don't have to be intimidated by this. You don't have to feel too lonely when you're setting down all of this. And you don't have to feel like you're hurting yourself by calling out the truth on yourself. It's all part of the journey, and you are supported, you are celebrated, and you know it already. And you already know you have the gifts and resources inside you already. And as you move through September, you're going to have a much more clear and stark awakening that, my gosh, this is true. It's almost like this journey here, all of this that represents my past is the past. And all of this over here is the future. So this represents the past that is all over. All of this is all over. All the truth cutting here, all the exposition, all the vigilante work here is exactly how it should be. So what it does, it reveals the true value and the true wealth to completion. In other words, these cards work very, very closely together. You already have this. You already own this, Sagittarius. It's just that it's probably very buried deeply inside and covered up with, tons of rubble that needs to be cleared. Okay? But in so doing, by courageously moving on your journey, setting out on this whole new journey, especially starting in September, which is very much a pivotal month here in the year, you're going to feel that, like even by, let's say, the end of September, on the new moon in September, you're going to be very much aware of what we're talking about here. Like, oh my gosh, a whole chapter of my life, huge chunks of my life are now essentially over, and a whole new life is unfolding. But it's also on the understanding that you are totally guided, you are totally protected, and everything is exactly as it should be. You have basically pretty much everything, and everything that you've lived through so far, you could call it your own movie, okay? And soon to be released, because you're starting on a whole new one. Because with this degree of completion, it means literally, like in parallel with the eclipses, you're starting all over again from scratch, from zero. We're not even going to pull another card here. It wouldn't even be the Fool card. It's just the void, empty space. You're going into this whole new way of being. So yeah, it requires a lot of courage, and you have that. You have a lot of support from your friends and family and all your mates, all your good people, all your chosen friends and family, and you're going to come out of it just fine. All right? Okay, I don't want to be too pushy about this, but let me just arrange this a little bit better for you, so that you can see. So it is almost like a Braveheart movie story, where you have to have a very brave heart, and you're calling out the truth on yourself. You're going to live it out. You're going to face into the new maze, the new matrix, and you will prevail, okay? And you're going to realize that, my gosh, this is an awesome journey, and we're going to start all over again. Okay, Sagittarius? Now, you know the routine. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. And please, I invite you to watch the Leo North Node videos and the the Leo eclipse videos that we just put out, okay? That'll hopefully get you through September, okay? Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good month. Bye-bye, Sagittarius.